Okay, well, hey everybody, we're live on YouTube. So today is January the 22nd, 2024, and we are doing our Boss Babe Call Be a Risk Taker series. And so we just got back from leadership conference, and I was just had my unit meeting. I was telling everybody how fabulous it was. We're in for some really good things for the spring and the summer this year. And one thing I can tell you that was super exciting, and I'm not a big TikToker, but 10 million people get on TikTok, y'all. 10 million. Like there were all these comparisons. I wrote it down on my notes right here of how many get on Facebook, how many get on Instagram, how many get on TikTok. TikTok is like where the young people are, okay, and others too. But Mary Kay, this fall, maybe late summer or this fall, they're going to start a Mary Kay TikTok channel, okay, where they are going to they're going to get in the game with TikTok, y'all, and it'll be young, it'll be fresh, and they have found about how many people buy products after watching TikTok. Like whatever product, if they want to know how something uses, they search it on TikTok and they watch the videos over and over and over, and then they purchase. Okay. So anyway, they are really doing a lot of things to help us get ourselves out there. So they have a thing on Mary Kay under digital zone or on the training, and it is social. I think it's called Social Media Connect or something like that. And it has a whole thing about TikTok. And so you can watch it. Jana Strunk, which is one of my good friends that y'all seen her on here, they did a thing on her with social media, and she looked beautiful on the screen. So that was exciting to see her. But anyway, so those of you that are in the dark ages that you still don't quite have that Facebook account set up, it's just, you got to go where the people are. When I started, there was no cell phones. I know it's like I'm 100, right? But really, there was no cell phones. All the phones are on the wall. Okay. And then they came up with caller ID. And we have the caller ID, and then we could look and see who was calling us. I mean, that was pretty big. We had answer machines before that, the little tapes, little tiny tapes, or some with the big tapes too. And so you had answer machines, you had the caller ID. And then later in my career came the cell phones, and they were in a bag, and you put them in your car, and you actually held them like a telephone. I mean, like now you can't even hold the phone. We're in there trying to dial in the bag. And then, of course, they came out with cell phones, and then they came out with the internet, right? And I remember when Mary Kay going to seminar, and they had this thing, hashtag, and in my mind, it was # my MK life. I'm like, what does that mean? And why are they wearing those shirts? I mean, like, I just think about it. When you had no concept of hashtag, it's like, what does # my MK life mean? And then these girls are running around with these orange shirts that said hashtag MK velocity. And I'm like, we had a product called Velocity. It was for young girls. And anyway, times have changed. And, it was like now everybody has a cell phone, right? Just about everybody, my 85-year-old mother has a cell phone. Her 80-year-old sister has a cell phone. My, 90-year-olds have, everybody has them because it's the way people communicate, right? Social media is the way people buy stuff now. I mean, like I already thrown it away, but I got a magazine today, and I looked at it, and then I got online on the website. I did. I mean, like I glanced at, I like the lookbooks, and I send them out to my people. But a lot of people, they'll get the lookbooks, browse through, and then they might get on your Mary Kay website to order it, right? And so, or they'll go on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and type in Mary Kay lipstick, and see what other people think about Mary Kay. So anyway, Nathan Moore, especially Ryan Rogers, wants us all to be influencers. Like they want all of us to get on social and blow it up. Because with so many people in the sales force, I mean, you think about other companies don't have a sales force. They have 2 or 3 people that they send a big old thing of product. They say, would you get on there? I'm just give it to you free. Will you get on there and try it and tell everybody how much you like it? And then we'll give you a percentage of the hits or whatever. So they want us to get on there and show these products, tell how much we like them, keep the little videos that you do short, like these little 1.5 minute videos and, show little sections at a time and get the buzz, continue to keep the buzz going about Mary Kay. Because usually people want to buy what everybody else is wearing. Is that not right? Like all of a sudden, everybody wants Stanley cups, right? They want Stanley. Like just because that's the buzz has been these pink Stanley cups and that whole story about the Stanley and, and Yetis, keeping up with them with pink Yetis. I got a thing about that today. And so it's like, oh, I didn't even know I like Yetis, but now everybody's got one, so I need one. So we want Mary Kay to be like that. That's so popular that everybody wants it, and that when they hear about it, go, yeah, I'm getting me some Mary Kay. Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's really awesome. Okay. So that's what we got to do. And and Mary Kay's going to be right there with us. I mean, they're going to teach us how, but you might want to just take a few extra minutes, maybe, at night and do some training for yourself and practice a little bit. And you only get good. The first time you do it, you're going to be terrible. I'm terrible. I'm sometimes still terrible. And I just say, I know this isn't that great. And I just mess up and I maybe have mascara in the eye. And I said, well, ladies, that's why I keep Q-tips. I mean, I just do it real and just stick it out there. Because guess what? People don't want perfect. They don't. Because if it's perfect, they know it's not even real. No, they don't. Nobody's perfect, right? They would rather just show you just like you are and how you get cute or how you wash your face or how you use your mask or whatever you want to talk about. But anyway, they did 2 big long classes on social media and they were really good and beneficial. So anyway, okay. So let's go ahead to our Boss Babe call. This is week number 3. And the video tonight is with National Sales Director Auri Hatheway. And I have not watched it, but I talked to Karen Rydell. She's the National Sales Director that came up with this whole thing. And she's like, oh, it's really good, Cleta. I said, I know it is. I said, everything you put out is good. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen to watch this. It's been up there a few minutes, so hopefully it has it. Hopefully it'll be good. So Linda, Deborah, y'all maybe just give me a little thumbs up once I get it started, okay?
Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here today. Oh my goodness, welcome Fearless Adventurers. This year, we're embarking on this journey into the heart of risk, a realm where uncertainty will dance with opportunities. And imagine our training as this compass, guiding us through this uncharted territory of decision-making and bold action. And as we set sail into this sea of uncertainty, I want you to remember that the greatest discoveries are often made when we dare to navigate beyond the familiar shores of our comfort. So tighten your metaphorical bootstraps and let the training on risk begin. I love this thing because Mary Kay naturally attracts risk-adverse people. I mean, really, when you think about it, we have a 60-year history of Mary Kay as your backing. Not only that, but you have all the coaching and mentoring of your Mary Kay sales director that has gone before you. That's not too scary, is it? You also have the 100% guarantee for your customers in the event you mess up anything, their foundation, their moisturizer. And in addition to that, Mary Kay has a 90% buyback for your products. So if you're Mary Kay, you're actually probably more risk adverse than you can imagine. You usually play it safe. Unpredictable is not really a word people would use to describe you. And steady and calm is more a character quality that you possess. So here you are stepping into 2024 and the theme is be a risk taker. Because honestly, how crazy could it possibly get in this super safe environment that Mary Kay provides? Prior to Mary Kay, I actually used to be an actuary. And as an actuary, I would calculate future financial risk and I would put a price tag on it. What are the chances that this man was buying this life insurance, that he would die at this age of these conditions? I would create a rate to charge for his insurance. And I did this for all sorts of products, including warranties on plasma TVs and tablets and phones. And so this is what I did when I actually decided to join Mary Kay. I assessed the risk and I realized there is no risk in Mary Kay. I have a 100% guarantee with the products, 90% buyback. I have a director before me and it allowed me the freedom to try new things. And I want to share that with you because maybe you just need that filter to realize, gosh, Ari's right. There's very little risk in Mary Kay. What is the craziest thing that can happen here? Think about it. Not a lot. So this gave me the freedom to go full throttle and to put forth maximum effort. Why do we hold back here? What exactly are we afraid of? What could possibly make things worse than the way they are right now? And so I assessed the risk and I realized, you know what? My life is here right now. The only way I could go is up. And that's why I made the decision to actually work it, work it. You know, my director taught me when you ask someone to lend you their face or do a party for you, if they say no, don't take it personally. You'll have more yeses by asking than if you don't. Just pretend it's a piece of gum. Oh, would you like some gum? And if somebody says no, you're not going to cry, right? You're not going to think, oh, they said no to my gum. Absolutely not. But if we don't ask, we'll never have booking. I just understood, yeah, asking is a part of it. Take the emotion out of the equation and just ask. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have feelings. That doesn't mean my feelings haven't been hurt. That just means that I understand it's a part of the business plan. So once I analyzed the risk with Mary Kay and I realized I have the freedom here to go full throttle, I decided to go for it and to do my power start. And to me, I just didn't see that as risky, other than risking my character, risking my feelings getting hurt, risking rejection, risking getting a no. But I also understood it was part of the formula. It was part of the way to success. You see, I've never met a director who said, oh, I've never gotten a no, you're not going to get our no, don't even prepare for them. They all say, I've and I've been canceled on and be prepared. And I'm like, okay, it's just part of it. They've even prepared me for this. So I did do a power start and I realized, and I'm going to share with you two huge risk-taking decisions that I made as a Mary Kay beauty consultant. When I started my business and I started doing my power start, it was after my second party. So I did my debut and I sold 400. And then I did my first party on my own and I sold 600 that I realized I did not start with enough product. I did not start with enough product. I actually started with the 1200 because I was scared. Honestly, I was scared. I knew I should have started off as a start, but I started off with the 1200. And as soon as I finished that second party, I was like, I don't have enough products. And I went back to my director and I said, I don't have enough products. What do I do? And I remember when I got the Mary Kay credit card to finance my Mary Kay business at 0% for 12 months, she said, you're going to, now that you've placed your initial order, you're going to cut it up. Never use it again. Every month from your sales, you pay off the balance, you divide it by 12, and then from your cash, you place your reorders. So I was like, okay. Except she made one exception to the rule if you realize you started with too little. You realize you started with too little, it is okay to invest again. And that's exactly what I did. And at that point, I actually had 5 more bookings on my calendar and I was completely almost all out of products. And I was like, I need a full store. So I went ahead and made the investment. Now, I say that that's like a risk-making decision, but at the same time, it was pretty safe too, right? Because Mary Kay gives you 100% buyback guarantee. I already had the dates inside my date book. It's not like the appointments weren't going to fold. Even with, I knew how to coach. They had taught me how to coach. I knew how to coach my appointments. And even if they canceled, I knew how to rebook them. And so I think it's okay to say, you know what? I didn't start off on the right foot. I need to have the product that I need. And the reality is people buy more when you have the product. If you've never experienced this, I challenge you to take on that challenge. People buy more when you have the product. If they're like, oh, you have it here. Oh, I didn't realize that. Can I also get an eyeliner? I want one more mascara. You know what? Get me a CC cream for my mom too. And they just keep adding on and adding on and adding on. So I think that it was a really wise decision for me to get going because it made me realize I started too small and I needed to dream bigger and think bigger. And that actually became a theme throughout my Mary Kay business. Well, I did do my power start and I finished it and I told my director, what do we do now? And she's like, oh, you're going to do power start again. I was like, great, because she had taught me how to get bookings for my bookings. So my date book had bookings, but I did have to get on the phone and rebook those that did not lend me their face in that first month in business. I had to get back on the books and keep asking new people. Every time I went somewhere, I would ask new people. I always had invitations in my purse with me. And I remember when I got to a point where I physically could not do more. Like I was out of time. I had a full-time job. I also was studying for my actuarial exams and it was logged hours, 30 hours a week for my job. It was part of my job requirement as an actuary. And of course, I had other commitments like my family and church. I wasn't married, I didn't have kids, but I was dating my now husband of 20 years, right? So I remember going to my director once again, and I said, what do I do? Like, I'm out of time. Like, I don't have time to do more parties, but you tell me if I don't do more parties, then I'm not going to reach the next level. And that was my goal, was to be a car driver. I wanted to earn that car to give my car to my mom, because growing up, we didn't have a car. And we used to walk to school, church, grocery store. And I dreamt of the day I'd be able to give my mom a car. So this was the goal I had. And she's like, you really want to hold at least 3 parties a week? I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. She goes, oh, you're going to hire an assistant. This was the second big risk-taking decision that I made. And that was to hire an assistant. I was like, well, who do I hire and how much do I pay them? And she was like, oh, whatever Walmart pays for an entry-level job, that's what you'll pay. I was like, okay. And I said, well, who do I hire? She was a consultant on your team. Who have you already trained? I was like, oh my goodness. I remember Marissa. She had just gotten laid off at work and she was home, and I had recruited her the month before because she had been one of my hostesses. And so I came to her. I said, hey, I need someone to help me out and to enter in my customer profile card and process my married customer tickets and process credit cards, and send out all the invitations and all the thank you cards. And she did all the back end office stuff so that I was free to go be with the people and do the bookings, be with the people, do the bookings. And I want you to know there are only so many hours. And yeah, you can spend them in your office and then you're not seeing your husband or your children. You get to a point where you're tapped out. If you really want to grow and turn this into a business, you have to invest. You have to make an investment. And I said, well, Disha, how do I pay for that? She was like, well, you pay for that from your sales. And even if you're breaking even, that your sales pay for your products and your assistant, you'll come to a point that it'll finally grow so much that you're profiting from it. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Every business has to make an investment. I have 2 degrees in business. So I was like, oh yeah, every business you have to invest. So I'm going to ask you, here's some evaluating questions. If you keep doing what you've been doing, will you have growth? If you keep doing what you've been doing, will you have growth personally, professionally, financially, emotionally, and spiritually? And here's the second question. What are you afraid of? What is the absolute worst case scenario? What is it that you are afraid of? I want you to remember that if you don't take a risk, there is no story. So you have a powerful, on purpose, and powerful pink 2024. Thank you for being here.
Don't stop, Auri. Do y'all not love her? So good. So good. Okay, I'm going to open up the gallery. And let's talk about what she said. It's funny because last week, they talked about inventory a little bit, right? And then this week, and she's coming from she was young when she started. I know that. And, but she has a business major. So she understood the investment. And so she talked about inventory and she talked about hiring someone. So I can tell you, being a Mary Kay for 38 years, that's what Mary Kay Ash from the stage would tell all of us, beauty consultants even, that if you don't have time to do your Mary Kay business because of all your responsibilities that you already have, get help. She say, hire a housekeeper. I'm telling you, she said, get someone to help you with the kids, all these different things, and you pay for it with your money. Because she had, when she was in sales, she had 3 small children and no husband. She's a single mom. So she said, I would hire someone and I knew I had to go sell to pay her. Like she said, but what that did is she goes, I would much rather, go out and do a party than clean my house any day of the week, wouldn't y'all? So she said, hire a housekeeper. And I can remember thinking, hire a housekeeper? You got to be kidding me. I mean, I don't even have any money. But I was younger like Auri was, and I just did what I was told. And so I got someone to help me with the house. And it freed up, that time that I felt good about leaving and doing what I needed to do. The house was clean, the husband's happy, And anyway, so let's get your thoughts on that, on the, even though we talked a little bit about last week, on the risk and the risk. She did what I started out with a 600, and then I thought I sold it all like the first week and a half. And I'm like, that was dumb. So I went back and did a 2,400 because I knew I didn't have enough products, So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about that. I would love to hear from some of the beauty consultants before we hear from the sales directors. What are y'all's thoughts about her risks? And anybody got any feedback for that?
Ms. Clayton, could you repeat what she said about if you keep doing what you've been doing, I was trying to write that down.
What she said?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I think she said if you keep doing what you're doing now, then you're going to have the same thing that you have now. Like, what is going to change if you keep doing what you're doing right now? Like,
She said, will you have growth?
Will you have growth or not?
Will you have success?
Yeah. And she said, no risk, no growth. Right. And so, no story, no risk, no story. That's true though, right? Because like, don't we love a good story in Mary Kay where someone's really overcome like so much and we're like, wow, right? So that we used to always say, if things happen to you, Deborah Bishop, my adoptive director, and then my good friend, anytime something crazy would happen to us in a Mary Kay setting, at a Mary Kay party, with a recruit, whatever, she goes, you're just building your eye story. It's just going to be more fun and better to listen to on that stage. So anytime you have something happen crazy at your Mary Kay parties or with a recruit or something crazy, just make a note and you can share it on stage when your $1 million year. Because it's going to be very entertaining and everybody's going to be like, it happens to other people, not just me. But okay, so let's talk about the housekeeper. I mean, not housekeeper, but the assistant part. How many of you, just a wave of hand, have someone that does help you with your business? Okay, good deal. Good deal. Several of you raised your hand. Who I hired first is I've had different people. But at first, I just always hired college students because they always need money. And they're fast and they're good and I can tell them what to do. And, I have hired someone my age before. It was a little more difficult because she didn't want to mind me, and like, I'm like, this ain't working. And I've had to fire a few people. And I hate it was like the worst. Like I'd give them money to leave. And you want me to fire you. So here's $200. I'm really, really sorry. And if you just like maybe find something else, it's just not going to work out. I felt so bad, but if it works out or not. But these young gals that are college students, they got energy, they're healthy, they don't have kids. I mean, they can get after it, right? And so that's who I used to have come in my house. And it made me a better beauty consultant because I would say, I need you to enter all this stuff in on the computer, or at the time, some of it was by hand. And then I would have her make deliveries. And then I'm doing things that would make a big difference in my career, like holding a skincare class. An assistant can't go hold your parties, right? An assistant cannot, do new consultant orientation with your new person. You need to do that, right? So it really does help and it makes you work because I knew she was coming in my house, right? And so now there's virtual assistants. You literally could get someone on your team or a customer even and say, hey, could you work for me? And, you could send her over some things to do for you. So what are some things that you guys that have assistants get someone to do for you? Y'all anybody just unmute and tell me some of the things that you pay someone else to do so that you can work.
Mine helps me with my book, my numbers, my inventory, my sales tickets.
Okay. Stuff that's like, please let someone else do it, right? Like you're like, oh, no paper. Some of you are like, oh, you can just let me do that all day long. There are people that love it. So that's the people you hire. People that love numbers, right? Right, Judy? Okay, thank you. Who else has got something that people help you do? Jamie?
I have a little 19-year-old that's working right now, and she helps with inventory because I did my inventory update first of the year. So inventory, sales tickets, makes copies, just pretty much anything that I want her to do she'll fill orders if I have the tickets laying there. She'll fill the orders. Just pretty much anything I want her to do. She likes computers, so.
Perfect. And when I was traveling a lot more and before I was married, so I was single, there's nobody at the house when I leave, like there wasn't like Brad to go in there and get it for me. So I hired someone and she would like make, I even had her number, like they had her number and they would call her and for the reorders, and she would take it down and she'd go deliver it and just put money in my account. Thank you. Her name's Melissa. And then she quit on me after 3.5 years. I'm like, why, Melissa? Why? I always tell her she's my most awesome assistant. But luckily later in life, later after that, the virtual assistants started coming around where they did the texting, they did the posting. And so that really helped too. But okay, who else has someone? Alicia, you raise your hand. Who do you have help? I mean, tell me what you have help for. You can unmute and talk to me. You can't. Oh, she can't talk right now. Okay, so looks like data entry. I'm thinking yes. And so you can type it in the chat if you. Oh, you did type it in the chat. Thank you, girl. So samples, warm cheddar packs, inventory, data input, cleans the party bag after every appointment, prep virtual packs to mail. Perfect answer to something that people can do. Put labels on products, Joyce said. Sometimes, like Elizabeth said, she has her daughter to help her out. Make hostess and recruiting packets. Okay, these are all great things. And when we say hire someone, we're not talking about you employing someone for 40 hours a week. Okay, we're talking a part-time, maybe you need somebody for 6 hours a week, 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on, a Thursday or something like that, something that they could come in, you could stack up the stuff that they're going to do and that stuff you don't have to do that needs to be done, like one of the things that I loved is that my girl, Melissa, she did filing. I hate filing. Do y'all hate like your bills and your expenses and she was so good at it. And so all my files were like perfect. Like, when it came time for taxes, so easy because she had me in order. I don't want to show y'all my files right now. But so now I've got, I need to hire that Melissa again. I might call her tonight. Go, Melissa, get back over here. But anyway, there's a lot of things that you could do with that. And then of course, inventory. So who else has something they'd like to say that they liked about Auri's speech? Anybody, directors or consultants?
I like where she said that if you have too many no's, you need to go out to ask more people to get more yeses.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, who else had something?
I like how she really explained that. And I know it plays in with your story too, where she thought she started with 600. I don't know if maybe her recruiter didn't tell her she could start with more too. I don't know, and then she realized, wait, that wasn't quite enough. And she just jumped right on the ball immediately and reinvested within herself with her business and took the initiative on it. And that makes such a big difference. I cannot tell you, having product on hand, it makes such a big difference. But the fact that she realized that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, who else has something?
I like what she said, she said it's just like offering a person a piece of gum. She said just simple, keep it simple. And, and if they say no, then don't be offended. And that's one of my pet peeves is I got to know,
Yeah.
So, but
we don't like them and we don't understand them. Yeah.
In real estate, I've got no's before, so I'm used to it, but it still don't get any easier.
We don't want them to say no. We want yeses. But we used to do this whole gum skit, and we had 6 directors or consultants up there. I don't know if any of y'all remember this. And then we would have them all do the different reactions, and we would come up and go, "Hi, would you like a piece of gum?" And then someone go, "No, thanks. I don't chew gum." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So you're the next people. "Hey, would you like a piece of gum?" "I hate gum. Gum sticks to my teeth, dentures," and like kind of violent about gum, And then the next one is like, "Okay, I'll try it. Oh, that's not my flavor," and spit it out. And we went through like 5 different things and said about Mary Kay. Some people were going to get in and say, "No, I don't wear makeup. I hate sales. I hate Mary Kay. You rarely get that. Don't want to do it at all." Some might get in, try it and go, "You know what? It's not my bag. I'll just rather just be a customer." And some will go in, they'll do it for a little while and then decide to, do something different, but still have a good feeling about Mary Kay. So we don't get offended about gum. Like I'm in church sometimes, I'm like, "Hey, you want a mint? You want a mint? You want a mint?" And they're like, "Yes, yes, no, no, no." And then I'm like, "These mints suck. No one will eat my mints." I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's not, but it's just a mint. I mean, either they do or they don't. So I'll still next Sunday have my mints and I'll go, "Anyway, so I thought the gum thing was good too. And she is just really a great speaker anyway. I've heard her teach a whole lot. But one of the keys that she said, I don't know if y'all heard it, is that she did a power start when she started. So that is, 30 faces in 30 days. All right. And really back in the day, it's more like 60 faces. But even if you just said 30, that's enough faces to get some practice, to sell some products, to see what you're doing. If you came in, Mary Kay, and you did, let's say, one party and you have 4 people there, and maybe you sold $75. It wasn't like the greatest party in the world. And then you're done. You really didn't even get time to know what you're doing. Like my first party was $35. And so, that's not even good 38 years ago, right? But I had another party and I got a little better and I had another party. And now I could do a party. You could wake me up in a dead sleep and I could get up and do a party, because I've done so many. That is just, it's like pouring a bowl of cereal. Okay. It's just easy. You don't have to think about it anymore. And so that's how many you have to do to get good at it. That's the truth. And then it's no big deal, and some are going to say no and some are going to say yes, but you just don't know until you ask. And so I shared on my unit meeting tonight that I did some chatter booking in Fort Worth. And one of the things I am making myself do now, y'all, I'm a sales director, been in a million years, but I formed a bad habit of meeting people, giving them my card, and maybe they're working. And so let me get a card. So maybe I give them my card and I was like, here. And I'll say, my name's Cleta. Oh, my name's Susie. Say, great. Say, if you just text me right here, your name and that you work, and just put your name and where you work. And then I'll send you a pampering packet in the mail. Oh yeah, I sure will. That sounds great. Put it in their pocket. I never hear from them.
Yeah.
So I'm done with that. Okay. So I called myself done with that. So instead I say, oh, let me give you my card. I say, tell you what, go ahead and give me your number. In fact, will you just type your number in here? That's what I did. This is what I did in Dallas or in Fort Worth. And so I just opened up my phone and I said, go ahead and put your number in there. And they type it in themselves. Okay. And then I said, okay, great. I said, and then I'm going to go ahead and just text you my name and I'm going to go and put you in my phone as a contact. And so like in front of them, this is exactly what I did, y'all. I put their number in, I clicked on it, I added their name, first name, last name, and where they work. And I said, okay, now we're connected here. I said, when I get home, I'm going to send you a pampering packet. And they're like, okay, I'm excited. And then I went and I found them on Facebook and I friended them. Okay. And then I added them to my customer group. Okay. So now I've got and I messaged them on Facebook. And so I'm sure they stalked me. It's okay because I stalked them too. Right. So I know a little bit more about them. They know a little bit more about me. And I feel like we are more connected now than just me giving them my card, then put it in their pocket, and then later go, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Or they get scared, whatever reason, or they lose the card. So I have vowed to myself, and I challenge y'all to don't leave them until you get their phone number and put it in your phone and text them right then. They'll give it to you. Now, if they're working at a bank, sometimes they can't, like a bank, but most places most people, they have their phone on them, And I did have that. I know some of y'all showed that program. It's called Hi Hello. I know most of y'all are kind of familiar with that, but I'll show it to you. It's just called Hi Hello. Looks like this. And then I said, here, put up here. I said, scan that in your phone. So she opened it up and she scanned it in her phone. And then it comes up and it looks like, hang on, I'll show you what it looks like. Well, bless. Preview. Here we go. So when it came up, this is what it looks like. Okay. It has my name and a picture, and then it has all of my information right here. Okay. My Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube, everything. And I just told her, I said, click that right there. So she clicked it, and then it opened up her contacts. I said, now save that right up there. So she saved it. So now she has this on the phone, but she also has me in her contacts. And so when I text her, it's going to come up. And, it was just an easy way to do it. But one girl, I didn't do it that way. I just said, here, put your number in my phone. So
What's that called again?
It's called Hi Hello.
Hi, hello.
App, it's just called Hi Hello. Yeah, the app looks like, here, let me pull it up on here so you can see it.
Very professional.
This is this one right here. It looks
Uh-huh.
like it just says hi.
Uh-huh.
Here we go, this way.
Mhm.
And then when you click on it, you can do a personal one, and then you can do a business one as well. You know, and just enter all your stuff. It's free. That's why I like it. And so, you know, you may want to just try it. It's a free digital card from Hi Hello, is all it is.
Nice.
There's other stuff you can pay for to do all the stuff, but I didn't really need all that. And then I still text in my website stuff. Connie?
I was just going to say, I have Blink, BLINQ. So
Okay.
it's similar to that. It looks like this right here. I don't know. Can you see it? It's the orange one that looks like a double B. BLINQ. It is also a free app.
Okay.
But I just say when I meet somebody new, this is what I've started doing. I open up my Blink app and I say, what's your phone number? I'm going to text you my digital card. And then I text them the digital card, and then I start communicating with them. That way I have their number. So it's really, I like the idea of hand them the phone, let them put in their own number. That's perfect.
But yeah, but that works too. Yeah, just text them, because on the Hi Hello thing too, you can do that. It just says send them a link.
That's exactly what this does. It texts them, and you can send or you can text. And then when they open it, they can click on it, takes them right to your website.
Yeah, that's what this does. So check them both out. I mean, if you want one, there is also a QR code on the back, like of your Mary Kay app thing, that I think you can, you know, kind of take a picture of that as well. You can go to Canva and you can do QR codes for just about anything.
You don't even need to do that. Did you know if you download the Mary Kay app, the pink one, the Mary Kay app that your customers can order from? So I just traded my unit on this tonight because I learned this. So when you go down to the bottom where the heart is, where it says consultant, open it up.
There it says share right here.
And then it says share. And when you hit that share, it's going to show a picture of you with a QR code. And there you have it.
So what you do is you just screenshot that on your phone. And then now that's in my phone, and I can save that under my favorites or a Mary Kay file.
Right.
And I can say boom, and they'll go straight to that.
That's exactly right.
Beautiful.
And it works great. I've been playing with it for the last 24 hours, making sure that it worked.
Awesome. Thank you for that reminder, because I have seen that before, but I haven't, you know, and it even has a thing on the bottom that says share. So you don't even have to screenshot. You can just hit share. But now that it's in there, see, all I have to do is, you know, someone can just sit there and I could just go here, scan this. So perfect.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually, just to have it. Then they can just scan the code right there. Takes you straight.
Absolutely. And you can even have stuff like on my last card. This one I was going to show you on the business cards that you can get from Mary Kay. Now I do have this on there, so I could have just had her scan that and say, here, go ahead and scan this right here. And that takes her straight to the website and say, fill and just register. But there again, would she register? I don't know. Right. So if she doesn't, then, in fact, this says scan now to download the Mary Kay app and connect with me. Let me just scan that and just see if it takes it to the generic app or if it takes it to me. Because I almost think you still have to search for the person.
No, it takes you straight to you. When it's the one off of the app, it takes you straight to you.
So there you go. I didn't even have to screenshot because I have it on my cards. And I used to do my picture on my cards, but I decided to do this just to, you know, see how that would work. Because everywhere you go in restaurants, what do you have to do now? You have to scan it and get the menu. People are getting used to scanning the QR codes. It's kind of a pain, but not really. But anyway. Okay. Well, thank you for all those tips, you guys. Hopefully y'all learned something tonight. Who learned one thing tonight? At least one thing. Yes? Okay. I'm going to leave you with one thing. Okay. Let me spotlight this real quick. Oh man, I think I've spotlighted no, everybody can see everybody. Okay, good. This is a little sheet that I'm gonna put on Sheet of Nation, but if you're not my Facebook, whatever, you can take a picture of this and I'm gonna read it to you. Let me see if I can get it straight. So you can just screenshot this video. Quit moving, camera, you dummy. Okay, hang on. Let me get it where you can see it. Okay. All right, now it's what women want. This is what I wanted to leave you with. There was a class that that Jill Davis did at Leadership Conference, and she talked about how she went and she did 20 conversations, is what she's calling them, with customers. So she picked 20 customers that she thought I would love for them to be on my team. Okay. She goes, some of them, probably had no clue or whatever, but I just said that I was doing this little training and it's called What Women Want. And if they just had a few minutes that I just wanted to go have a little conversation with them. And then, it's a survey that I'm kind of doing. And so she set this up. And so I'm going to tell you the question. So so first of all, she said, okay, what is your favorite Mary Kay product? That was question number 1. Okay. So, so she wrote it down and then she says, okay, great. She goes, what is a product that you would like to try that you don't already use right now? Okay. So then they would tell her something. So she wrote it down. She goes, is there a product that you wish Mary Kay had? You wish Mary Kay said, I wish Mary Kay sold this. Okay. She said, sometimes, like whatever they say, she writes it down. She said, but sometimes they actually had that product. Like we have it and they didn't know we had it. Like they said, well, I wish Mary Kay sold body care. Oh, well, we do, Okay. And it just allowed for some conversation about that. And then number 4, she said, what is your favorite way to try products? In person, virtual, or with samples? And she wrote that down. All right. Then number 5, she said, okay, now number 5 is I'm going to share just 5 fast facts about Mary Kay. So just kind of listen to these and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about them afterwards. So her facts that she shared, her 5 fast facts were, number 1 was about that consultants may get a 50% discount on their products. And she talked about that there's no monthly quotas. There's not a certain amount you have to sell every month or you get kicked out. That we have no territories. You can book, sell, and recruit anywhere in the United States. That we have 100% satisfaction guarantee on the products for customers. So if anybody returns anything, you can go fill out a form. Mary Kay will send that product right back to you. And then the $35 e-start. This little piece of paper says 30, but it's 35 now. So if you get this piece of paper, just remember to change that. Okay. And so she told about those. She goes, I don't take too long, but I just go through each of those. And then she says, okay, here's my question. Number 6 is, of those 5 facts, what is the most appealing part about the Mary Kay business opportunity of those 5 things? And then she just writes it down. Okay. And then she says, and that's not on here, but what she said in the thing that she did, she said, is there any of these 5 facts that you didn't know? That was one that she asked. She goes, were any of those things or something that you didn't know about Mary Kay? And then they answer her. And somebody goes, yeah, I didn't know that, da, da, da. Okay. All right. And then she says, number 7 is, if you were to become a Mary Kay consultant, what would be your reason after now learning the things that you have learned? Why would you do it if you were? Not saying you are, but if you were. Okay. And then she said, if you were to become a Mary Kay beauty consultant, what would you want to get out of it? And she talked about this on stage and she said, it's kind of like the same question, but it's really not. She said, like, one might be, if you were to become a Mary Kay consultant, what would be your reason? Well, I would do it for the discount or whatever, And then she says, what would you want to get out of it? Then that's when they kind of start dreaming. Well, I mean, I'd want to drive a pink Cadillac, like they'll say something like that. Like they go from like minimum to big is what she has found on the question sometimes. And I thought that was pretty brilliant. And then she said, would you consider becoming a consultant? And she said, at this point, just be quiet and let her answer. It's either going to be yes or no, And then she said, number 10 was, how do you like to receive Mary Kay information about products and or the company? Email, Facebook, text, phone. I mean, how's your best way that you like to receive information? And then she writes that down. And then she said, is there any way you don't like to get communication? And she writes that down. And I thought that was interesting too, because her whole thing was that we got to speak other people's languages. How do they want to be talked to? We cannot speak the same language to every single person. And so by asking questions and learning more about them, whether she becomes a beauty consultant or not, this customer, you can make a note of how she likes to be communicated. So if she says, I don't like when people call me, I just would rather get a text. She goes, 9 times out of 10, they all say text. You know, she goes, that's what I found. And then the last one was, she just said, thank you for your time, your support, and your business. I really appreciate you taking your time with me to do this. And I've learned so much more about you. You know, do you have any questions about Mary Kay or the company? And obviously, if she said she wanted to sign up, you know, she signs her up. But she said, I think she said she did. I got to go back and look, but I think she said that she did. Okay. Let me see how many signed up. That's what I was going to tell you. She had 21 conversations, 9 people recruited. Now, she said, granted, these aren't strangers that have never heard of Mary Kay. These are people that use the product, you know, that she already, you know, so she had 9 out of 21. That's almost 50%, you guys. And she gave us all a challenge to just do this, just ask these questions to 20 people in the next week or two and see what happens. What's the worst thing that could happen? You would know a little bit more about that customer, right?
That's
That's the
awesome.
worst thing that could happen. So this isn't even a yes or no, they don't like you. This is just like, I could get to know my customers better and I might get a team member. But what if you did 20 and only got 1? Well, 1 is probably double what you got last month. Am I right or wrong? You don't have to answer. Okay. 2 might be double of what you got last month. So, I mean, what if we had to talk to 20 people to get 2 people? But what if you did 21 and 9 people signed up on your team and you fell out on the floor? Okay.
Love
So
it.
I thought that was a great idea. And that's
Yes.
one of the ones that I wanted to share with all of you of how we, instead of sometimes sitting there and overshare, you know,
Yes.
about the business, this could be a better way to
Cool.
talk to people.
You gonna put it on there?
I'm going to put it on there as soon as I get done. Okay. So YouTubers, you all cannot be on my Cheetah Nation group page on Facebook because I'm not friends with y'all and I'm like maxed out. So y'all just take a picture of this. Okay, here you go. Real still. If I could only get it straight. Okay, so hopefully you screenshot it and you can write them down yourself. And just remember to change that eStart to $35, you know, and explain the, you know, the different ways that you can get in Mary Kay. Okay, so I thought that was really great. So y'all have an awesome week. An awesome week.
Thank you.
If you're in my group and you're going to career conference in Atlanta, you got to get registered. ASAP, like ASAP. We have 6 people, but our goal is 20. It's 69. You can actually get up that morning and drive up there and be there at 9:30. Like just leave at 6 and get there. You don't even have to spend the night if you don't want to. Or if you want to take a little trip, you know, zip on up there that night, spend the night. And I'm staying at the Fairfield Inn. It's right across the street. Everybody else, there's a career conference near you. I know a lot of people are going to Charlotte. Some people are going to the Michigan one. And then I know we got some Texans in here that are going to the Texas one and hopefully maybe some of the other ones. But that opens February 5th. So have your money ready to go to send it in. And you want to get 2 qualified team members between now and then if you're going to the Mary Kay conference or even watching it virtually, because you will be in that drawing for that beautiful Louis Vuitton handbag. And so if you're like me, I used to be a little ignorant on Louis Vuittons. I thought, oh, well, it's like a Kate Spade. No, ma'am. It's really an overpriced handbag. But like the big bags are like $2,500, $4,000. They're an insane amount. Okay. So it's one of those things you may not spend your money on yourself, but you would love it if someone gave you one.
And
so
they brought them out on stage, so we got to see how big they are.
yes,
It is
they're
the
big.
bag.
All the Inner Circle Nationals, they gave them one and a wallet. They about freaked out.
I know.
So, I mean, that's the kind of company we're in. It was pretty awesome. So anyway, all right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thanks for watching on YouTube, you guys. I see you over there from Charleston and Diane and Curly Girl and who else is over there? Anyway, I see your comments over here. So we'll see you next week. It'll be week
Bye.
number 4. Week number 4. All right. Bye, everybody. And thank you for
Thank
coming.
you so